This video is going to be about some fragrances that I think you could wear to a holiday party. Holiday parties are a little bit more, it's different. You don't want to show up with like a freshie because, you'll kind of interrupt the mood that everyone is in, unless you're living somewhere where it never gets cooler. But usually or traditionally in the holidays, we want something that's maybe a little bit more on the gourmand side, something that's a little bit thicker, something that can withstand the cold a little bit, kind of cut through it a little bit. Not too much, not too in anybody's face, but really smell nice. Now I have some here, some of them are a little bit less expensive, and then it kind of goes up a little bit from there. These are all designers right here, so they're readily available. Some of them you can even find at like really discount stores, especially the first two. So if you're interested in a fragrance that you could potentially wear for the holiday season, stay tuned. Hey everyone, I'm Peter from Central. On Central, I talk about fragrances, designer, niche, perfumers, so on and so forth. So if you're into fragrances or you just want to smell nice, consider leaving a like if you like what you hear, and even subscribing if you want to hear more. I want to thank you in advance, and now let's dive right into our video of fragrances that you could potentially wear to a holiday party and smell great. The first two that I want to talk about, or want to introduce you to perhaps, are from Banana Republic. Now, Banana Republic is a designer. They sell clothes. They used to start out, back in the day with, safari kind of stuff. Nowadays, they're a little bit more contemporary, as the bottles actually show. The first one that I want to talk about or tell you is going to be tobacco and tonka bean. Now, who doesn't like tobacco when it's a little cooler outside? It's really a gorgeous smell. And you can find both of these fragrances, tobacco and tonka bean, or dark cherry and amber. You can find these at the stores, at discounters nowadays, for as like little as 20 to 30 US. Now that's a really good price. You're not going to get too much longevity out of these though, but they're really good scents. They're a little bit on the deeper side. The tobacco and tonka bean is going to have some tobacco. There's also a little bit of a plum note in here. And there's also a little bit of a coconut. So if you do live somewhere where it is holiday season, but maybe it's a little bit warmer, has a little bit of coconut in there. So I think you could actually pull this one off and maybe even get away with it if you're like, at a beach somewhere. If it's, winter time, obviously. The dark cherry and amber is going to have some cherry. There's going to be some praline in this one, which really makes this one a gourmand fragrance. There's a little bit of a floral note from the cherry blossom that's in here. And you have some red amber and some cedar in this fragrance. Like I said, both of these are available at, discounters for a really good price. And they smell really good for the cooler weather and the holidays because they're both a little bit on the gourmand side. Like one has a little bit of coconut in it. The other one has a little bit of cherry and praline. So definitely two good scents. Now the next ones that I have for you is a fragrance that lots of people have talked about already. And it's for good reason. Now, you can go with the original one of this one if you don't like it too dense or too deep. But I like the intense version of that one really the best. And it's going to be Boss Bottled Intense. Now, this one to me smells like, apple pie or something along that line. It always reminds me of Grandma's house for some reason. Now, it came out in 2015. It's a beautiful scent. You got some apple at the top. There's some cinnamon in this fragrance. It's really something that smells like a pie. It's a gorgeous scent. Once you've smelled this one, you always like it. Now, for me, I kind of wear this one all year long, even though it suits itself for the cooler weather. Now, for me though, in the wintertime, what I really like is an upgrade to this one. And that fragrance is going to be Boss Bottled, and it's going to be the oud. Now, I like oud. Some people don't like oud. I really do. This one is you're going to have the reminiscent faint smell of the Boss Bottled or the intense in the background, but it's going to have, of course, some agar wood. You're going to have some cinnamon in this one. It's a little bit deeper, it's a little bit denser, and it's just a little bit more on the elegant side. Like to me, this one smells like a wealthy man, if you will. But I think for the wintertime, I find myself wearing the Boss Bottled Oud just a little bit more than I do the Boss Bottled Intense. I kind of wear this one all year long, depending on if I'm looking for something that smells a little bit more cozy. Now the next one, if you don't like oud, then you don't like oud. But oud for me is a really good scent, and there's some really fine ones out there. So Boss Bottled Oud. It's also a little bit more expensive. There's also a saffron out there. However, the Boss Bottled Saffron, I like the oud just a little bit better. The next one is going to be a Salvatore Ferragamo, and you can also find this one very often at discount sellers. And it's going to be Salvatore Ferragamo, and it's the Uomo. Now this one came out in 2016, so just a year after the Boss Bottled Oud. And lots of people say that this one smells like the dessert tiramisu, and I have to agree, it's a really good one. You can find this at discount sellers quite often. Master perfumer Alberto Morias is behind this one. And Aurélien Girard, I believe, is also the other perfumer. Lots of people like this one because it smells a little bit like a dessert. And who doesn't like a dessert for the holidays? Even though it's a little bit more, I'm a little bit more on the pie side for the holidays than I am with tiramisu. Tiramisu, for me, I can eat that all year long. A little bit lighter than the other ones so far. But, you know, if you don't want to go too deep, too dense, I think Salvatore Ferragamo, a gourmandish sort of smell like tiramisu, is a really good one. Goes great with coffee. Now, the next one is going to be a really, really intense Christmas smell. Now, it's a little bit older and it's a little bit harder to find nowadays, but it's still available, and it's going to be a Burberry. And the Burberry that I'm talking about is called Burberry London. Now, you have a master perfumer behind this one as well. It's Antoine Messandieu. It is this Burberry right here that has the little, I guess, fabric on it. I'm gonna give this one a smell. It's been a while since I smelled it, but I do remember it's very, very Christmassy. Let's see what we have in this fragrance. We're going to have some tobacco. Ooh, look at that good sprayer. And there's some cinnamon. There's also a little bit of lavender right at the top. Let's let it breathe for a second. And there's some bergamot, a little bit of leather. And to me, this one really smells like a Christmas tree. It's not quite as green as a Christmas tree, you know, the cedar or the piney note, but it definitely has that in the background. When you smell this, I can see wearing this, walking outside, you know, with a shawl for a hot cocoa or coffee or something like that. So it's been out for a little while. It's a little bit harder to find. It's not so much at the discounters anymore. I don't know, maybe they stopped making it. I'm not really sure. But it's a really good one. If you can get your hands on this one, and you can usually get it for a good price, Burberry London is one of my more favorite ones out of the Burberry line. It's a really nice one. Smells like the holidays. And if you want something that's a little bit more elegant, I mean, this one's really nice. I do enjoy it. But if you want something that's a little bit more on the elegant side, maybe a little bit more mature, then I have one that's by Bulgari, and Alberto Morias is behind the next one. This one came out in 2014, but out a little bit, you know, also it's Alberto Morias, like I said. Really good sprayer on this one. And it's got a little bit of an oriental vibe, maybe just a little bit. There's some tonka bean in here. You're going to have some leather. There's also going to be some spices, and there's a little bit of rum in there. It's a really elegant scent. You could wear this one no problem with a suit. Like I said, it's a little bit more on the mature side. You know, I would go, you know, what is mature nowadays? You know, it all depends on the individual, I reckon. But, you know, 25 and over, I don't know if that's mature. Forgive me if you're 25 and I'm calling you old. I don't mean to. But you know what I mean. It's a little bit more of a dressier fragrance, a little bit harder to wear, you know, with flip-flops and shorts or something like that. So it has some tobacco, some rum. It's a really beautiful scent, and I really like the entire Bulgari line. The Man line. It's a really good line. You can buy this one in the gray market for a little bit of a better price, but it's going to be a little bit more than the previous ones that we looked at. Now, if you want to go even more on the gentlemanly side, as the name even suggests, you can go with my next one, and it's going to be a gentleman Shivashi, or gentleman only. And it's going to be this one right here. Now, this one is a newer bottle for me. I think the original ones, when it first came out, had a solid red label. So this is a newer bottle. I picked this one up last year, I think. It's a 2016 fragrance. Last year, I did a whole Shivashi sort of rundown on all the fragrances that I have in this Gentleman series. I'll try to link it up top if you're interested in it. I think I have all of them, and so I kind of went through how they smell and what they do. If you're interested, like I said, I'll link it in the top. But Gentleman Only by Shivashi came out in 2016, and it's going to have some notes in it like cinnamon. There's going to be some nutmeg in there. There's a little bit of citrus at the very beginning as you spray it. Let's give it a spray and see what happens. There we go. It's a softer spray than the Bulgari. The Bulgari is really wet. Got to be a little bit careful on that one. Don't spray it directly on your white collar. This is soft. It's a little bit spicy, but it's a beautiful scent. Like I said, nutmeg, cinnamon, some citrus at the top. It's for a true gentleman. It's going to be beautiful for any dinner party. Now, the next one that I have for you is going to be something that is also on the gourmand side. And when I first smelled that one, I adored it. I really, really liked it. And I actually bought the fresher version of it for the summer. And it's going to be a Valentino, and it's Valentino Uomo. Valentino Uomo is a beautiful scent. Now, to me, if you're European, or maybe if you're in the US, or maybe you know what Nutella smells like, it's a beautiful, beautiful, sweet gourmand scent. I really adore this one. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't last too long, and the protection is not as great as you would like for it to be. It came out in 2014, I believe it was, and Olivier Polge is the perfumer behind this one, as far as I remember. There you go. This is an elegant, smooth, sweet, and nutty scent. I mean, just like Nutella. If you're a lover of Nutella like I am, then you know that this is a beautiful scent. I love wearing this one. It's never too much. It actually could be just a little bit more, but it's a beautiful scent from Valentino. Makes you smell exquisite, like a gentleman on the sweeter side, but not heavy and dense on the light, nutty side. It's a beautiful scent, like a little bit of a caramel, warm, spicy chocolate, like Nutella. Great one for dinner parties. Everybody will love the way you smell. Now, if you think to yourself, okay, I like that, and I like smelling gourmandish every now and then, but I really want something that's a little bit stronger, something maybe a little bit more on the classic side. Most everything here has been kind of, a little bit spicy, but it's been on the sweeter side. The first Pasha Cartier came out in the 90s, 91, 92, somewhere around there. I used to wear it. It was one of my signature scents way back in the day. So I really was looking forward last year to this new remake of this one. And it is Pasha by Cartier, and it's the perfume version. Now this one right here, let's give this one a spray as well, is a really gorgeous scent. Now, it's definitely not a gourmand, I would say. This is more of a sandalwood, rum fragrance. There's a little bit of an animalic touch to it, but not in a way where you're like, oh my God, it's completely a turn off. I don't want to smell like that when I'm next to my family or my friends, at a holiday party. It's really quite beautiful. And I have some sandalwood. There's also some benzoin. There's some labdanum in here. And there's a little bit of patchouli as it dries down. It's a really gorgeous scent. It's really well done. I don't know if anybody remembers, the fragrance from the 90s. Probably not. Most of you guys are younger. But if you do, it was a really good scent for those days. But it's a little bit harder to wear nowadays. But this one right here, the remake, the Pasha Cartier perfume from 2020 is a really good remake. And it's a little bit denser. It's great for the holidays and a little bit of a colder weather. It's a really good one. Now I have one more, since we kind of went up in the years and got a 2020 here. The next one that I have is going to be, it's a stunner that they remade. There's a few of them already as well. It's going to be an Armani one, and it's not the code or anything like that, but it is an Armani fragrance that they remade, and I always thought that they needed to do this to this fragrance to make it even better. And in 2021, they did. And of course, it is Armani Stronger With You. Now there's a few iterations of this one already, and there's the leather and there's the freeze, and I have all of them really. And this one right here though, I've always thought that it's a really nice fragrance. They all smell very similar, but I would love for them to add rum to it. Just kind of gives it a little bit more of something that you could wear maybe in a smoke bar or something like that. And this one, so what they added rum, and you still got the chestnut, and it's just the signature scent, really, that the signature line. It all smells kind of the same. But if you haven't gotten one, except for these caps, if you don't have any of these yet, then I think that the 2020 release, Armani Stronger With You, absolutely, is going to be the best one next to the leather one. And now the leather one is a really nice too. It comes in a golden bottle. And that's a really nice one too. So you got, the signature scent of the chestnut, and the citruses in this one with leather, and here you have the rum. It's a beautiful scent, and on this one you got to go a little bit easy. You could wear this one anywhere. You could wear this one to the holiday party with your parents, and then spray on a couple more and go out and have a good time, which is what I hope that we're all going to have this next year. So I hope you enjoyed my little rundown of fragrances that you could wear if you're at a dinner party for the holidays, maybe with your parents, friends, and loved ones. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to love, like, share, subscribe. It does help the algorithm. I want to thank you in advance. Until next time, I want you to take good care of yourself. Remember, always smell nice, and I will talk to you soon. Until then, Centrail.